Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk about the new Beatles song, Now and Then. Now, I know I am very, very late making this video because the song came out all the way back last year, 2023, but we had a baby in July, so things just got kind of pushed back for me as far as my record listening and Beatle reviews and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm here now, going to talk about the song. I'm going to specifically talk about these two pressings that I picked up and tell you which one I like more. This is the Target 12-inch on red vinyl. This is the 7-inch on clear vinyl. So I will show you both the records as well. But first, let me just tell you my initial thoughts when I first heard this song. So I'm sure, like all of you out there, I was really excited when they announced they were going to release a new Beatles song. And when they said it was going to be Now and Then, I was also excited because I've heard the John Lennon demo that's been in the bootleg arena for a long time. And I've always really liked that song and always thought that it would be interesting to hear the Beatles version, because even way back in the mid-90s, they were talking about how the Beatles did attempt to work on Now and Then, but then they abandoned it and all that kind of stuff. So I was excited to hear what Paul and Ringo had done with this song. So when it was released, obviously the day it was released, I listened to it a lot. Probably like 10 to 15 times. And I know that's probably an excessive amount, but it's a new Beatles song, so I just really wanted to check it out. And when I listened to it the first time, I listened to it in my car actually, because my wife and I were driving around with our baby. I think we had like a doctor's appointment for the baby, and then we had to run some errands. So that was my chance to listen to the song. So when I heard it in the car, I gotta say, I was very, very excited. Initially, I liked it. And when I say I liked it, I gotta say that I think I liked the experience of it and the idea that this was a brand new Beatles song that I was experiencing with my wife and my new baby. There was just like, the moment was so beautiful and so exciting. So that's what I liked about it. I don't think I was able to have an objective opinion on the actual song at that moment. But then in the next few days after that, I was kind of able to get more of a deeper feeling about what I felt about the song. And I gotta say, I like a lot of the song and I dislike a lot of the song. So if you were gonna ask me point blank, do you like the new Beatles song Now and Then? I would say yes. If I had to just give a one-word answer, I would say yes. But if you were going to ask me for my detailed answer, which is why I'm making this video, I would say yes, but, and here are the reasons that are included in the after the but. I don't like the production of the song. I think the drums and the bass specifically, and the piano actually too, Paul's overhead piano, they sound far too modern. And I know that this is a modern recording because of course Paul and Ringo added their parts, I think in 2022. So to be fair, it's kind of, it's unfair to judge them for making a modern recording in modern times. It's not like they took an old Beatles recording and then like beefed it up with modern stuff. That would be a different story. So really they were just doing what they thought was the best thing to do with the technology that they have available to them right now. But for me personally, my preference, I just don't like the sound of the drums, the bass, and the piano. Super compressed, there's like hardly any dynamics at all on the whole recording, but especially on like the bass and the drums. There's just something weird. It's very un-Beatles-like is what I would say. That being said, Paul and Ringo and I guess Giles Martin, who were involved in the modern recordings of this song, it's their choice. It's up to them to do what they think is best. So that's totally fine. I'm not going to question their judgment because they are obviously geniuses, professionals. They know what they're doing. But just for me personally, I didn't enjoy that aspect of the recording, that production choice. The other thing about the song that I don't really like, the string arrangement, it's just a little bit too much. When it comes in, it comes in the song. At first it's nice when it comes in, but then it just stays in the song though, for the whole, till the end of the song it's there, and it's very loud to me. I wish it was more of a sparse arrangement, kind of like more of like an Eleanor Rigby type arrangement. Even though in Eleanor Rigby, of course, it's just strings and vocal, but it's just it's a very tasteful arrangement in Eleanor Rigby is what I'll say. This, it just seems overblown in Now and Then. It's, for me at least, and again, I know, and of course I'm making a video, so this is of course my opinion, but just the strings were just a little bit too much for me. And the other thing that I didn't really like, I'm not a big fan of Paul and Ringo's vocals that they've added. I think it's fine that they overdubbed some new vocals onto it, but I think their vocals are a little bit too loud in the mix. I would have liked to have them a little bit lower and have John's vocal come up during the choruses. So those are the reasons why I would say that it's not a 100% yes, I like Now and Then. So that's my initial impression. Now, the video for Now and Then that Peter Jackson put together, it's very similar to how I feel about the recording of the song. If you were to ask me, do I like it? Yes, I do like it. It's very nostalgic. It's definitely, it definitely is a very interesting video. But there are things about it that I don't like. I think it's very, very weird that you have modern Paul and Ringo mixed in with vintage Paul and Ringo, and it's kind of weird. And then I guess it was kind of sweet to have Paul, Ringo, and John and George all together in that studio shot, but it's just a little weird for me. It was all just a little bit weird. The whole video just was weird. That's all I can say. I know a lot of people it really touched them and it made them super emotional, and that's great. If it did that for you, then I think that's a home run for Peter Jackson and the Beatles camp. If that did it for you, it didn't do that for me. I'm not that much of I wouldn't call myself a cynical person, but for some reason with that video, it was just weird. That's my take on the video. But I'm happy they made a video, and there are moments in that video that are really cool, like the shot of John looking out at the sunset. Beautiful. I loved that. That was really cool. And the shots of Ringo and Paul recording in the studio their parts, that kind of stuff I love. So I wish the video would have maybe concentrated a little bit more on that. And the footage, of course, of Paul, George, and Ringo recording the song back in the 90s. That's all gold to me. So yeah, like that. I like those aspects of the video. Let's now talk about these pressings that I picked up. So I should say, when they first announced the Now and Then single, I pre-ordered it through the Beatles website, and I think I first ordered the 7-inch just black vinyl. That's what I wanted. Just because in my experience, black vinyl tends to be quiet, and that's why I was going with that. So I placed the order, it went through, but then when it was supposed to be shipped on the day of release, I got another email saying that they didn't have enough copies to send out, and they were currently sold out, which is weird because I obviously pre-ordered it. So anyway, long story short, I wasn't able to order it from the Beatles website. I had to cancel that order, and then I was able to pick this up from one of my local record shops, which I would have preferred to do anyway, except that's always a gamble knowing if they're going to have it or not. But they did have this, pick this up. And this is the clear vinyl. And I'll show you what that looks like. And it was pressed in Germany, made in Germany. I kept the sticker on there. And here it is. Very cool looking. And I love that they did, for Love Me Do on the B-side, they did the original red Parlophone label. So this is the first vinyl pressing that I heard. I gotta say, when I put this on though, I was very disappointed. And the reason I was disappointed is that it just didn't sound very good. And that's not what you want when you buy a new record and you put it on. You want it to sound good. It sounded, to me, the fidelity of this sounded worse than the streaming version. So that kind of bummed me out a little bit. And if you're wondering, well, what did it sound like? It sounded a little bit muffled on here is what I would say. It just seemed like the highs were kind of cut off, and it just didn't seem right, to the point where it almost made me question was my needle okay? Was my stereo okay? So of course I cleaned it all and listened to it again. No, it's the pressing. This pressing, for some reason, it just doesn't sound all that great. So that was a bit of a bummer. But I was willing to kind of live with it because everything else was sold out as far as the other versions available that I could find online. All the record stores that I went to around this area, no one had this. And the other ones were already showing up on eBay and everything for like insane amounts of money. So I was just going to be happy living with this, and, you know, just dealing with it the way it was. Side note, this fits perfectly inside the Beatles singles collection, which is where it currently lives when I'm not making videos about it. So if you have this and you have this, put it in here. It's great. But let's now talk about this. So I was walking around Target maybe 3 or 4 days after I picked up the 7-inch, and I was not looking for this at all because I looked online and all the Targets around my area didn't have this. But I was walking around Target shopping for probably some baby stuff or whatever, and this was sitting in I forget what section it was, but it wasn't the electronics section or where the records usually are in Target. It was just sitting on like an end cap, like someone had picked it up but then decided they didn't want it, so put it back. It was just sitting there, and of course I immediately grabbed it and said, I'm gonna buy this. So I bought it. And this is, like I said, from Target, and there's the back. And this also pressed in Germany, made in Germany, and it's on the exclusive red vinyl, which looks very cool. Again, part of the foam label on the back, cool with the red label and the red vinyl. I put this on, listened to it, and by the way, this plays at 45 RPM, which is kind of interesting. Put this on, and it was such a difference compared to the 7-inch. This sounded really good. Did it sound great? No, because the actual recording itself I don't think is all that great. But I'll say it was a lot better than this. The highs were pretty nice, were back, and it sounded actually better than the streaming version that I'd been listening to. And when I say it sounded better, here's the reason I think it sounds better. I don't think this has been, I think, obviously, I won't say I think, this has been mastered specifically for vinyl, of course, because when you master a recording, you have to do a different master for streaming and for vinyl, all that stuff. I'm sure you already know that. So on this vinyl version, the mastering to me is a little bit better. It's still not great. It's still super overblown, just, you know, it has its problems as far as the mastering goes, but it's a lot less overblown than the streaming version. So for that, I think this is the best way to hear the song Now and Then, is this Target red vinyl exclusive. I don't know if you can find these anymore. I see them online and they're super overblown, you know, like going for like $100, which is just kind of crazy. I think I got this for, I think it was 25 or something like that at Target. But if you can find this and you have the choice between this red vinyl version or the clear vinyl 7-inch, this one wins hands down as far as sound quality goes. Now, the only thing this one doesn't have going for it is it will not fit inside the Beatles singles collection. So that's a small complaint, of course. But yeah, I really think this sounded good, and I'm happy I was able to get both of these pressings of Now and Then. And I'm just happy that the Beatles, you know, Paul and Ringo, put out Now and Then, because it's something for us to all talk about, for us to listen to. It's a new Beatles song. So, you know, and it's okay, by the way, to be critical of it, and it's okay to even not like it. I know a lot of my friends don't like Now and Then. It doesn't do it for them. That's okay. At least we're talking about it. It's cool to have something new by the Beatles that we can have discussions about, because I don't know about you guys, but I get tired of, debating, is Back to the Egg a good album? It's like, there's only so much we can talk about with the Beatles. So when they put out something new, like these new Super Deluxe Edition box sets, and then a new song, it's great. It's a great time to be a Beatles fan, and I'm certainly happy with Now and Then, and happy they put it out. So yeah, that's what I think of these two pressings. So I'd love to know in the comments below what you think of the song, what you think of the pressings, which versions did you get? Has anyone out there heard the cassette version of Now and Then? I'd love to know how that sounds. And that's it for now. So hope you're all doing well. Take care, and bye for now.